So here I have my CD chip, my counter, and here is going to be my mux. The only thing right now that I have left in is I have power and ground to each one, and also I have ground going to pin 5 on my CD chip. That's going to be the carry-in, and I also have ground going into the strobe here on the mux. And also you do need to have one of these built. It's very simple. You just have the resistor. It's going to be brown, black, red, gold, and then the flat edge of the transistor facing you, and then the far left side is going to be grounded. So that's the same for both of them. You're going to use one for each chip. Your select is going to go into one of them, and then the other one is going to house your NAND select. And also the only other thing I have here is going to be, I have connected is going to be pins 2 and 3, pins 5 and 6, 14 and 13, and also 11 and 10. I did put a video in the group chat explaining why, but very briefly. So right now we're going to build one of the CD chips. You can use it as your MSB, you can use it as your LSB, it doesn't really matter. But you see how it's 1A here, 1B, 2A, 2B, and so forth. So you're going to set your most significant bit to A, right? So all of your inputs are going to be going into these A's here. And it's going to be QA, Q1, and then Q2, Q3, and Q4. And then your least significant bit, it's going to be going into the B's. So you're going to be doing your Q1 here, Q2 here, Q3, and Q4 for the B's. But right now, we're going to jump these inputs together just as a precaution, so that there's like nothing jumping around, and we know that there's no errors. So that's why I put jumper cables in here, and then when you go to wire up your other chip, you're just going to remove them and then put your Q's in the B slot here. Okay, so let's dive into it. I hope that made some sense. So jumper cables in there for now. Remember to remove them when you build your other chip. And let's start by connecting our outputs. So what is this going to be here? Alright, so here's the diagram. So we have A going to pin 4. W to pin 4, X to 7, Y to 9, and Z to 12. So W to 4, W 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, wrong chip. And then Z. Let's do X to 7. So that's going to be the output. I'm just doing the outputs first because it's really easy to see where the output is going to be if you have these two NANDed. So Y is going to be this output. Z is going to be this output here. Okay, perfect. And next, let's wire in our inputs because we can see them really well. So we are going to have Q1 going into here. Remember that I would keep it in this A slot here, just so that you don't have to rewire things once you wire up the other one. So where's Q1 going to be? 8, 6. Q2 is going to be here. Q3 is going to go Q3 is here. 4 is starting over here. Okay, perfect. All right, now what do we need to do? Let us wire up our presets. So right here, this is going to be P1, P2, P3, and P4. I mean, you can set it up however you want, but it is just nicer if you have the smallest going to the biggest. So P1, P2 going to pin 12, 11, 12. So before I did this all correctly and I was getting FF, and I was like, what the heck, man? And it turns out that my chip was just like not in 100%. P3 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then P4 is going here. Alrighty, perfect. What next? So let's wire up our clocks. Not our clocks, but our clock along with our other switches. So I'm gonna set clock to this first one, and clock is gonna be coming out of, oh my god. There. And so let's set preset enable. It's going to be this first pin here. Alright, let's set our up down. Our up down is very important because that will dictate which direction that we are, when we press the clock, it'll tell us which direction we want to count up and down with. And then lastly, I like to set my reset to a push pin just because it's easier for me to frantically press when things go wrong. Alright, the last thing we need to do is set up our select. So this will actually wire back into the segment display here. And I'm not sure if I already mentioned it or not, but the only reason I have this unit separate is because I was too stubborn to watch like the 6-hour videos or whatever they were of Petrie to set up the tester unit. So I've just been building each piece as we go along for what I needed to do for the labs, what I needed to test. So you're going to be setting one of these to D1 and the other one to D2. I don't think it matters which one. I've had success with both. It might matter, but so anyway, so I'm just gonna, for the heck of it, just do the bottom one here. So I set the other one to ground because we're not going to be using it. When you do set up your other chip, you're going to be feeding the other transistor. You're going to feed the NAND select up here, but for right now we're just using one chip, so we're gonna set that to ground, and the other one is going to, let's see, let me get it, where we need to take our select from the mux, take select from the mux and put it over to the base of one of these. It doesn't matter which one, just have select going to the base. And now we're going to take the output, I don't think it's actually the output, but I'm not too familiar with transistors. So the output, or whatever this is, the far right pin of this transistor is going to go to this here, and that should be all we need to, I honestly don't even think that we needed to wire the P's in. All that does is we can just like make it display what we want. But this should be enough to have one of these chips built. Let's turn our power on. This is so long. FF. Oops, I hit something. Oh my god, no. Oh, again. There we go. So I had FF and all I did was I felt my pin a little bit out. My cat likes to get into them, which is like the worst thing ever. This in a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Alright, okay, so I'm gonna hit reset a couple times. I feel like oh no. I feel like that might be good luck or something. Okay, so now let's we have to put our up down. Which one did I say my up down is? It might be this last one. So we have to set that on, and then I pressed my counter, I put my counter up. Okay, and now let's try it again. 2, 3, perfect. So the reason that these are both the same thing and both going on for my counter is because we connected with jumper cables the A's and the B's, so that's why. So, so this is gonna be our most significant bit, this is gonna be our least significant bit, and so you're controlling these two things separately. And I made a couple of videos that showed how you take the carry out from one of these and feed it to the other one. But so then when you wire up the other chip, take the jumpers out, and then this will be controlling just one of these here. But so anyway, so yeah, so you move it up and reset, and then let's try seeing if these P's works, because when I was getting graded online, they did want me to show, they asked me to put in the value 42, and so with our most significant bit, we would put 4, and then the least significant bit, which will be wired up here, we're gonna put, put this 2 there. So I think we need to have our preset on, and then let's see. Okay, so this is a 4, perfect. 4, 2, 11, cool. So awesome. Like I said, we don't even need these P's to be in here for this to work. I mean, it might. Cool.